visit some brother right on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Hello, my sunflowers. How are you? How are you today? Well, it's supposed to be April showers bring May flowers, but it seems like May gonna bring its own flowers because we've been having a lot of rain over here and what do they call it? Metropolitan DC, Maryland, Virginia area. Rain, 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 but nothing unusual about that. Nevertheless, I want to talk about Diddy girls. Now, here I go. I woke up this morning. I was minding my own business. I get up early in the morning, and there was a commentator on TV, and they were saying something about, I think Jaguar Wright was saying about, how she feels about Diddy kids, his daughters, the twins especially. And it was a commentator. I don't know her name, but anyway, she was talking about how Jaguar Wright sees those girls as
psychopath.
A psychopath. Now, I was like, and as they begin to give the reasons, I begin to understand that has some life to it. Those girls have been traveling, yachting, going out, doing everything that they're big and bad enough to do. Yes. I mean, they have been running around and doing everything. Now, before I go any further, for all of you who may not know, when you call somebody a psychopath, you're just saying there's somebody who has no empathy. They don't care. They're numb to it. They don't feel like with their father in prison as if it was me and I love my dad as much as they appear to or perceive to. It would be no way I could be living my life when my dad is struggling. But these girls has been out on the road. They have traveled. They doing everything along with their brothers, partying, living a big life. Living a big life. And I'm not saying they are psychopaths, but I'm wondering, did they take after their daddy? Because their daddy has a psychopath. Now, understand, a psychopath don't mean you are a murderer. It just means that you are a type of person. You just don't have the feelings. Explain it, baby Crone.
Yes, it's somebody who has the characteristics of not caring.
I don't even know if it's not caring. They just not affected.
Yes.
They go on with their lives as if nothing, they just removed. Would you say that?
I feel like that removed is a very...
They are removed. They don't have no... They don't... I don't want to say they don't care. It's just they're not moved. They're going to live their life. They're going to do what they did. They're going to, like nothing never happened. And honestly, that's how those girls come in. Mm-hmm. And they always, all three together, they remind me of the girls on The Shining. The way they walk. Baby Crone put that thought in my head.
Did.
She did it.
I sure did.
And I was like, yeah, and so it left me a pause. Are these girls psychopaths? Because to me, I wouldn't be able to do what they're doing. Even their sons, do they have a touch of psychopathicness in them? Because it's curious to me. So anyway, I don't know. So I'm going to ask the old trusty cards. Do Diddy girls, are they not the oldest one? Because it seems like she's laid low. She doesn't hang out with them like that as much. You don't really hear much about her, but them twins, what? They're everywhere. They are everywhere along with their brothers, everywhere, partying on yachts, going out, dating, doing everything that they big and bad enough to do. The Diddy girls, the twins. So I want to know, are they psychopaths? And I'm going to do this reading by positives and negatives.
Okay.
Are they psychopaths? Do you think they're psychopaths? Because they're so removed.
Yes.
They are so removed. They show no real emotion. When they say, I really wanted to do the Diddies, but when I realized that they wasn't showing anything, it's kind of hard to get into it when you're not there and you just going on the commentary of other people and their opinions and how they viewed it. I feel so sad about that because I kind of I didn't lose interest, but it's hard to follow when because who do you listen to? Mm-hmm. Because all those that's gone, and it's taking up everything, but something big will be rolling around that's going to get us all stirred up again as we go through this dry spell. Yes. But nevertheless, all these girls psychopaths. Now, you may say, don't read on these young girls. They are grown women. They'll be 19 in December. And as you know, I said when you're 18, the law said you are an adult, a young adult, but you are an adult. You do a crime, you're going to get charged as an adult. Yeah. So when they're 18 years old, they're not children to me. They are young adults, and they're living the life of a young adult. Mm-hmm. So anything you want to say about them, baby Crone?
It's just really fascinating to watch the Diddy girls just enjoy their... enjoy their time making videos on social media, dancing, hanging out, being with their boyfriends, no doubt, just doing everything they big and bad enough to do. And they seem so removed. Yes. I don't know if they just don't believe or did their father tell them, did he say, look, when I go away, I want y'all to, he called them, have fun, party, spend the money, be wise, put certain amount away just in case, but live your life. He could have. He could have. I don't know. But I do know that they are, to me, they are so removed from it. It just doesn't even seem natural, in my opinion. And in normal. In your opinion. Okay. Yes. Everything I say is allegedly. Yes. I am not saying that these girls are psychopaths, but I am saying they come off as they are so removed from this. It's kind of scary. Mm-hmm. Don't you think? Yes. They do remind me of the twins in The Shining in that regard. Mm-hmm. Right? So here I see the 8. And I'm going to lay these out as the girls. I don't know their names. I just call them Diddy girls. And what I see one is removed, is moving on, done with it. Like, I'm done. I'm just going to go on, live my life. I'm hurt. All I can do is move on. But then I see another one that says, look, I'm going to take what I can and I'm going to go. I'm going to take and go. In other words, I'm going to take, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to go. You hear one that seems like, look, I'm low key, I'm just going to leave this behind. I'm moving on. I'm not going to let this get me stuck. I'm moving on. That's one. Mm-hmm. The other one, like, look, I'm taking everything I can. I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm living my life. I'm going to go and I'm going to live my life. And hopefully everything will work out in its favor. Do you see that? Yes, I can see that.
Now, in the past, it just seems like when I see this, I see it as in the past, as in that is a queen. And I have to look at it as a sense like they lost their mother. And so it's coming off like they're disheveled. Okay. Disheveled. That's how it's coming off. And also, it also seems like they have someone to come in and ground them. Like I see here, like they still at this moment, they probably think of their mom, even though she's been gone many years ago. I feel as though all of this brings all this stuff up. I don't know if they are talking about her death or do they know anything about it? I'm sure they do. And then on the other hand, we see a night that's coming inward. as in to rescue them. And you see one of them is emotional. One is full of emotions that's saying, I'm just going to leave. I'm just going to live, just blank my mind out and just deal with shit. And deal with things. And the other seemed like, I'm going to take what I can, enjoy while I can. And they got the past. In their past, it's like they still remember their mom, but yet they're dealing with their dad. And this is a grievous time. And then on the other hand, they do have someone or someone's in their life that do police over them, that do look out for them to a point, because they are grown now. And it's really nothing you can do to stop them from going out or doing what they want to do at this point. Mm-hmm. I see over the one that says I'm leaving, it just seems like, I see like, I don't know if they're working or what they do, but I do see one that's very curious and working at a craft or working out something they can fall back on, something that's meaningful. They both could do it, because I don't know how they look alike, but I don't know how they seem very close to me. But appearances, who knows? But on the other one, they still see, and the one that's looking back is the one that's here. That's the one that's looking back, saying, I'm going to take everything I can. And you see her, she's like being mindful about her future, where the other one is working out a future, like working out what I want to do, working out what I want to be, working it all out. But then I see another twin that's saying, look, I'm thinking I got to do, no matter what they look like, they got other internal turmoils that's going on in their head. And in a sense, one is more practical and pragmatic and think, while the other one is about doing. I'm about doing and making it happen. I don't know. Everything I say is allegedly. So when I look down on it, I see here, I see very strong. I see very strong feminine energy. Very strong feminine energy. And this feminine energy is like a mother figure in their life. Somebody is like a mother figure. And I see a lot of fire energy going in. But these girls, one of them are focus and about their future and don't want to be poor, and think about that and think about what our life will be. And while the other one is like, I'm working towards that. I'm carving out a career niche for myself. So they both are working it out in their own way. But then I see the queen, and that lets me know that somebody that they can stand on, or somebody they can trust is right there, that they done build a bond with, a very strong feminine energy that's there for them. And all at the same time, I see a Hierophant. And this lets me wonder, does that mean they believe in a higher power? Does that mean that they are having a hard time to conform to everything that's going around them, and maybe don't know how to handle these things? Maybe they just putting on a good front of being united. I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, baby Crone?
Yeah, that is a good question, because they are Capricorns.
Mm-hmm. And very earthy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And all about the way they are perceived.
Yeah. They care about that. Mm-hmm. They care about that. But yet, when the cameras are not around, you always catch them partying, doing something out and about, as if they don't have a care in the world. And maybe that's all a part of being a teenager. I don't know. But then again, here's more fire. So let me just lay this out. What you see, baby Crone?
Wow. I see the King of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
And that, since we're talking about all this motherly feminine energy.
And a lot of fire energy, yes, as well. Mm-hmm.
And for this masculine energy to come out, it only happens to make me think of Diddy, mm-hmm, in this case. And the Fool card just quite opposite of that, could symbolize the fact that now that he is a missing puzzle piece in their lives,
I like that.
They are trying to find a new path and journey for themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. They're twins, but they're going about it in different ways. But they have the end goal. And you're right. I do see that their father is in their mind. Their father is in their heart, because these are the things that happens in our mind that's above us. So they do think of their father. They do think of their career choice. They do think about that money. They do think what happened to dad if the money is gone. They think about all of that. So it is. But yet the fool shows up. And so the fool lets me know that they're just ready to jump. If this is what it's going to be, then we're just leaping in. We take what we know. We got enough education. We got what we need. They're going to just be a fool. When all is said and done, and I see this is coming towards them, that whatever the end be, they're just going to jump into it. But you got to wonder what will become of these girls when their father, if he were to serve life. Mm-hmm. What will become of these girls? Who would want to open up a door for them?
That's a good point.
Or wonder, do you have your father's blood in you? Like I'm questioning, do they have a little
psychopath?
Are they a little psychopathic? They could be a little psycho. They could be, but how else can they be other than unremoved?
Right. And Diddy being their role model and their
and the things they could have experienced and seen, are they virgins? I mean, that's none of my business, but it makes you question.
Yeah.
Or did he have a tight rope on them? And then when he left, they just went buck wild? I don't know. But here is one thing is for certain. There is a lot of pentacles. So it lets me know they think about that money. Even though they party, they travel, they go on yachts, you always see them wearing the finest clothes, using, Baby Crones said they do TikTok. They are, but I definitely see maybe it's just the lifestyle that they were used to.
Yeah.
Maybe they just used to this lifestyle. Maybe they just used to it. Maybe they just saying, this is the life we know. But all at the same time, I feel a sense of trepidation. Like, what will we do if this is gone? What if daddy lawyers take up everything? But there is somewhere in me, I think that he put money aside somewhere for his girls and his boys. I don't think that he gave it all. Right. I don't know. Maybe he put 20, 50 million up. I don't know. Maybe not. I know I would have. In a place where they can't touch it until something happens, unless something happens to me. And I don't think that he didn't look out for them like that. Maybe he left it in his mom's name or somebody put it in their name. I don't know, but I just feel as though that they think about their finances. Because if you think they're up in both of their heads, yes. They think about it. Also down here, you can see that they know the value of money. They know what money can buy, but they're rich kids. They're wealthy kids. And so they're still living that life as if they got millions to last forever. And maybe they do. I don't know. But I definitely see that there's a lot of fire energy, a lot of creativity. And it just seems like these girls are very creative. They like creative things. They like doing creative things, doing things, going places, seeing travel, doing TikTok. They, me, I don't know if I want to be in the camera flaunting like that when my dad got such a bad name. These girls seemed unremoved. Do these girls have and before I go on, I also see that there are times where all of this is a burden for them. That this is a burden for both of them. that they struggle about the money, not blowing it, because I'm sure somebody older than them is saying, can't be doing this. I'm sure they're getting supervision from someone, but maybe their mother left them something. I don't know. But I definitely see that it's a lifestyle, and having to turn over from it, I think it's hard. Mm-hmm. I really do. So I want to know, are they psychopaths, or are they just girls just gone wild? Not wild, but living their life the way they want. I see the horse, the death horse. All right, this is what I see. Whenever I see that 13 number show up, that lets me know that's a 4, and that's a foundation. And that lets me know that they dying away from the old way that they live, the old paradigm, that their father, they're getting used to it. They're adjusting to this. Daddy may not be home. Every time they go to court, every time they hear, they have to adjust and readjust and be prepared for their future. Even though it may not look like it, it could be. And in the middle of all this, I don't even think that they were prepared for any of this. So for the last year, they have been on a whole different way of living their life, on a whole different way they have lived. Mm-hmm. Even though they're still living extravagant lives, they are very much aware of the consequences. They are very much aware of it. And I definitely see here the death card that lets me know that there is a transition that they having to make. It is hard for them. And also here, not knowing what to do. Like I said, one is working out a future, working it out. Another one got a goal in mind and like saving, like saying, I'm not going to spend my money like this. One could be not a miser, but maybe a little frugal. Maybe one is more spending, like more now. It just seems like they're like a lot, but they're different in personalities, if that makes sense. Because I could see that neither one of them that is so emotional. Looking at the future is daunting. And I want to know, are they hoping their dad to come home, or do they feel as though their dad is guilty? I think the swords are up. I see this as a victory wreath. I feel as though they still believe in their dad. No matter what it sounds like, they believe in their dad. Now, do they believe that their dad is coming home? I see they don't know, because I just see a desert place. And even though this is about frequency and thought, and it is the beginning of all things, I see that they just at a place where they don't know. They know that things look grim. They know that things look grim for their dad, but they are still holding on to hope. I do see that. What do you see, baby Clone?
Yes, most definitely that they, with the Ace of Swords, I do see that they definitely do think about the future outcome for their father. However,
definitely.
They hope he comes out crowning victorious in all of this.
Definitely.
However, they're not quite sure, because
they're not
still
sure. And they got the death horse here, so they're not sure. They don't know. Up in the air. You're right. They don't know. They don't know. They don't know. It's like we believing, but it just, a part of it seemed hopeless. And another part of it, just they don't know. It's like they just know that they have all this time to adjust being away from their dad. And that goes with the boys too. Mm-hmm. They are having to adjust to this. And I guess, do you have a question?
Yes, my question is, are these girls affected?
They are definitely affected. Yes, but then again, here's another queen. So I see motherly figures around them. I see that there is, I don't know, but I definitely see a motherly figure, someone that's there to guide them. Many strong feminine energy. I see a lot of feminine energy. It reminds me of, and it takes me back to the Hierophant. I really see that they have very strong feminine energy around them. They're not alone. But I don't know if people can help you when they're not used to when you've always had this money and maybe they didn't have it like that. So it just seemed like it would be hard, be stuck between a rock and a rock and a soft place. But I want to know, are these girls a psychopath? Because the more I'm reading it, no, it just seemed like they put up a front.
Yes, it does what it seems like.
Very strong energy, very strong male energy. So what I see here is they have a lot of people around them, a lot of very, very, very strong energy around them. Female, a lot of feminine energy and male energy that's keeping them on the straight and narrow. But what can you do when they are grown?
That's true.
So, but I definitely do see that. And on the bottom of the deck,
maybe that's why they appear so removed, because they still have all the support around them.
Maybe that's why. Maybe because somebody is telling them how to act, telling them what to do, how to behave, how to think, I don't think that they are psychopaths. I don't. Not one negative card came out in the deck to let me even think that they are, but I do feel as though that there is, this may not be it, but I get the feeling like, could it be we lost our mother and our dad?
Yeah.
That's the sentiment I'm getting. And what do you do with that kind of energy? But they had enough time, about a year, however long it's been, they had about a good year to adjust to their father not being there. They had time to go to the jail, to the prison, and see their father as he declined, looking gray. So they had been adjusting. They have sat there and they've heard witnesses speak. They have walked out, and yet they still hopeful that maybe somewhere that God, their prayers, that somehow Daddy will come through, because Daddy always come through. Daddy told us not to worry, and Daddy told us to live our lives, be mindful, and maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know, but I definitely don't see in this reading as psychopath, but I definitely see girls that are structured, that people telling them how to behave, how to deal with this thing. I definitely see very strong male energy around them, and I definitely see a lot of feminine energy around them. Even here at the end, no matter what it will be, it shows me that the girls will be all right in the end. They'll be all right. They'll be all right in the end. And last, if I had to pick an outcome card, get me one of those. And if I had to pick an outcome card, here it is, another queen. They got a lot of feminine energy around them, different kind of energy, people preparing them, people talking to them. Maybe they get counseling, but I definitely see a lot. I see a community.
Yes, a whole village.
I see a whole village around these girls. I never thought of that.
Neither did I.
But as I read the cards, and this is what this is saying, that's giving them spiritual advice and leading them into the right paths and wanting them to do right and telling them about the money and how. Right. It's a very strong community around these girls. And are they psychopaths from this reading? No. No. I think that they are groomed. They are taught. They are hold hands when you go in, show a united front. And they always have the two twins on the side and the oldest girl in the middle.
Yes, they do.
And just for the sake of it, how about the oldest girl? How is she dealing with this? She too is under hope, under the spotlight, under hoping against hope. That everything is okay, who is not as frivolous, who's older, a little older than they are. But I see too, they hoping against hope. They won't lose their hope. And even in her, she feels differently. She just feels blinded, like not knowing, just wanting it all to end. This is crushing, but it's like, just not knowing. I'm getting a sense with the oldest girl, this could be a little humiliating. living her life privately, maybe not so out in the open, not like the twins, but more reserved, more. I'm feeling the word humiliated in a sense of, because I see the red and feeling more passionate about it, and yet just wanting it all to go away and none of it being true. So what do you have for the outcome card? What did you think about that?
Yeah, I like your interpretation in reading.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely goes in hand with the card that I picked right here.
Go ahead.
It was the darkness card,
mm-hmm.
which symbolizes disappointment, loss, unclear, blindsided.
That's how they, yep, absolutely.
And unprepared.
That's how they feel. That's even the boys. So that's how I feel about it. But no, I don't think that they are psychopaths. I think they are groomed. I think they are shown what to do. They are taught how to handle it. They are taught when it gets too heavy, leave gracefully. When you go into the courthouse, we go united, hold hands, let everyone know there is nothing they can say that could separate us. And in that sense, they love their dad. And I do feel there's a lot of emotions that they are not dealing with because they don't want to lose hope. Mm-hmm. And right now, I think that they struggle. I think they struggle with it as they sit through it. I think it's a big struggle, but they love their dad. And you got to understand the way that the world sees the dad and the way that other people that had encounters with their dad is different than the way that they see their dad.
Yes.
They see their dad as a hero. So, and it's going to be rough when it all falls down. And if he is convicted, mm-hmm. that will be the reality. And that's because right now, I think until they can't, they're going to believe in, and they're going to have unity, and they're going to believe the same thing I would, and the same thing you would do. I'm going to believe that my dad or my daughter or my mama, my papa, whoever I love, my grandmother, my sister, my brother, whoever, I'm going to believe that they're going to be okay, because that's what Christians do. When you have faith, you just believe that God can do anything but fail. Right. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's what they're going on. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting I'm getting the feeling of that. So, but I can say, I don't feel as though they're psychopath. I think they got so much people around them, telling them, talking to them, that they could go to, listen to. They have male and female, but more strong, very strong feminine energy, but they do have male energy that they have their best interests at heart. And so and especially a strong male figure that knows about money and knows the value of money too, that's guiding them and telling them chill or whatever, so it may appear that they're doing the most, but maybe they're not. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, they're going through a very darkness of the soul right now. And as they sit in the court and listen to these horrific stories, they just paused and trained and told, this is how you handle it. And you don't know what did he tell them on the phone. Mm-hmm. Don't let them cry. Don't let them see you cry. We don't know, but we definitely see a man that is very much in contact with his kids and keeping them up on the belief. So with that being said, I hope that you enjoyed this reading over Diddy girl psychopaths. No, they are not. They are groomed. They are trained, not trained, but they are groomed. They are taught how to handle this. When they walk together, that's all orchestrated. They got people around them telling them what to do, how to do it, what to say, what not to say, how to be. And so I guess when they are away from the cameras, they just be girls, mm-hmm. And the oldest girl, I think that she takes it a little bit more deeper than that. She's more reserved and not about being out there like that, because she is the oldest, mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading. That was wild. I learned a lot about that. Mm-hmm. So, especially when I realized they have a village around them. I didn't mm-hmm. expect that.
Yes.
And And I certainly didn't expect to see that they were very strong people that was behaving in their lives and letting them know how to act, how to walk, what to wear on that day. What is this? What they are really, they're really, really well orchestrated. They are well oiled in what to do. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. And again, no, I do not see them as psychopaths, but I do see that they are just dealing and coping with it the best they can. And they had a lot of time to deal with this. And they're waiting eagerly to hear the end results. They are hoping against hope. And right now, do you blame them?
No.
So I hope you enjoyed this reading. On the Diddy girls. They are of age, and 18 and over, they're not babies. They're grown women. Yes. And they're out there living their life to a point, So I hope you enjoyed this reading. I really do. And if you do, please, why don't you just give us some likes? We are really, really appreciated. We wish our likes can go up. If you happen to just watch this movie for 30 seconds, just hit the like. Just give us some like. We need that love, and it really helped us to grow. So please help us. And we thank you, and we hope you enjoyed this reading. And you know what we have to say?
Sunflowers.